you not doing the
Sorry,
video?
hold on.
Are we not doing the intro?
I didn't. I don't know. I'm not here today.
I'll go ahead and hit that
And
button
while
for
we
you.
were waiting.
There we go. Well, okay, we're just gonna ignore. It's fine. I got you.
Well, maybe it was maybe it was a good thing that we ignored the intro because that was a little choppy. A little
Oh,
choppy.
okay. Well, I think we seem to be okay now. So let's keep our fingers crossed that it stays that
We've
way
made
for a
it.
hot minute.
We made
So,
it. Welcome to your Wednesday night conversation. This is live with Fefe and Freddy. If you have found yourself here because you've scrolled through the internet, I welcome you. If you got lost on the galaxy and you are receding, welcome.
Oh, I
I am
wonder if we're
Felicia.
getting this in space because that would be kind of cool.
I don't think Elon Musk would allow that because
No, fuck the musky boy. I feel like if they're gonna broadcast anything, I feel like this would be a good thing to broadcast. Just saying, we're gonna, if aliens are gonna like pick something, I guess this is,
they're getting their news from somewhere.
Better
And
us than
over
Fox.
there is Freddie Prince Charming, Daddy. Yes, Daddy.
Look, my brain is like,
Why are
I'm like, it makes sense for what we're talking about tonight, but also I'm like, kind of in like, my brain is on that downward slope to PTO mode. So I'm like, I couldn't like, I was like, should I do something more? I'm like, no, I don't want to do anything more elaborate. I'll do something to my face, but it won't be anything very exciting. So this is what you get. Yay.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Look, at least you get something. Okay, I could have just not.
I went for a subtle look tonight too. Mm-hmm. I put a little bit of foundation on and a little bit of a lash.
Look, we've talked about trying to match your skin tone, Felicia. We have talked about this.
Oh, I don't understand.
It's fine.
This is blue, actually, so at least it's opaque, and I'm not wearing like translucent blue or something. So that'd be kind of cute. Anyway, today we have a jam-packed show lined up for you. Here's what we're talking about. Freddie has exciting news. And if you're on our Patreon,
a couple different things too. But yes, if you're on our Patreon, you would have heard both things there first.
Michelle, I feel like you need to get your own account because your husband doesn't share the exclusives with you until like moments later while I'm talking to you at Drink Me Tea Room, and you're like, oh, that happened, and he's shaking his head like, yeah, I need that. So a ballroom for every school.
Yay.
Shady business. Anyway, the queer history of flagging. I always love this lesson, especially when we teach it at Sex Trivia. I feel
and
like
it's been a minute. I figure we haven't really talked about it like on the show in a while. So I'm like, you know what? It's something kind of lighter. It's not like heavy and super deep and still educational. So, I'm like, let's do that this week.
I'll take it. All right. Let's see. Oh, you put a nice question there. Quick question for the chat. What are some subtle ways you indicate that you're queer when out in the normal world? I don't know. I don't really go out into the normal world, so
I mean, same also, but
I
like
try to stay away from the normies.
there's like, I guess for me, depending on like where I'm at or whatever, like I will a lot of times I'll have a pin or something that's not even huge, just something that's kind of there, like my trans flag pin or something. I have like the trans flag, the trans symbol tattoo on my arm, which if you're paying attention, you'll see
Mm,
it. If you know what it is, then you'll see it. Uh, Sometimes they'll just be like colored clothing, like something that has rainbows on it, or something that's like pink and blue that isn't like
mm.
exactly trans or exactly like gay, but it has kind of queer coding. Yeah.
I think just my existence is the subtleness. So
Yeah, I mean there's that.
you cannot
Honestly,
see me
your
in public.
nails, I think your nails are actually
Oh,
sort of a kind
well,
of an indicator.
I feel like the normies are starting to get
They
nails.
are yes, but when it comes to like, especially when it comes to like cis het men, like they'll get their nails done, but they'll usually keep them
Yeah,
short and like not as fancy. You know what I mean? Whereas yours are longer and have like bling and
yeah,
like they're definitely seen as I think more feminine nails. So I think for you, that's actually sort of
yes.
kind of flagging in a way. Hmm. Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
I think just my whole existence is never gonna tell you. I
I
feel
mean,
like I
there's
have one
that.
of those voices that you walk into an establishment, you hear my voice, and you go, "Oh,"
It's like,
because
where's the
you
gay?
know,
I hear the gay. I
yeah, you're like,
hear the
"Oh,
gay. Yeah.
one of us is here." Uh, oh, right. So put that in the chat. If you're watching on the replay, we love it in the comments. We'll reply back to the comments, or at least I will, because um, I I love to interact with people. Um, our podcast is largely supported by people who are just like you. We're PBS After Dark. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/live with Fifi and Freddy. Get the exclusives, including like being ahead of the conversation. Literally, I looked at like March and April. Freddie and I have literally put out content almost like 3 to 4 times a week
I
on
know.
Patreon.
We've actually been on the ball for once.
And so, you really should check it out because we actually did stuff. Because past
I
seasons, we
know.
kind of just here and there had some stuff, but there's definitely been some drops in there. So patreon.com/live with Fifi and Freddie. Oh, I didn't mean to press that. Sorry. Um. Oh, sorry, I didn't say the names. We like to thank our patrons: Bill, Brandon, Cassandra, Chris, and Michelle, D, Drake Jensen and Michael, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Joan, Laura, Madam Askew, and the Grand Arbiter, Nicole, Patricia Mason, and Shannon. A huge shout out to Wicks of a Kind for supporting us this season and for about 10 others. Um,
Fair.
if you have seen me in a wig, it's more than likely a Wigs of a Kind, especially if it's for a photo shoot
Yes. Yeah. Same.
from the
Except
get
for
go.
I think there's been a
Even
couple. that I've used that haven't been
Mm.
wigs of a kind, but it was for a specific look that I don't have a wigs of a kind wig for, so I had to go with what I had. But most of my like, if I'm, I think 90% of the wigs that I've used in like our photo shoots have been like a wigs of a kind wig. So
So
yes.
we have mass presenting wigs. We have wigs that I scribble little drawings of and send to Marissa, and she goes, "Okay," and then I wear them because I tend to have this imagination, and it's weird in there. Get used to it. Message us if you want to support us next season, this season, every season. Um, dollars. We like free stuff. That counts too. Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, in-kind
Um,
sponsorships, we're always like on board for in-kind sponsorships. Like we'll
if you want to
promote you.
like
We'll
get,
promote the hell out of you.
if you want to like, if you're a catering business and you just want to drop off food at my house, I have 5 people in my house. So, if that's the way you want, I will gladly say your name everywhere I go. Everywhere.
I don't need like a catering business, but if you like own a
I
bakery
would.
or something and would like to
Yeah.
donate,
See,
like if you
see,
would
there
like to
you go.
support me with like sweet treats, because I'm a sugar fiend, so I can cook all day long. Baking is a little more like,
Yeah.
and I'm not good at the
I
decorating
just,
portion of
yeah,
it. So like,
he
I
lies.
just Oh no, I
Just
can't
lie.
decorate for shit. The decorating of my baked goods is awful. That's why I don't bake very often. If it unless it's something that doesn't really require a lot of
Mm.
decoration, because I am not a
Okay.
decorator. I try and it doesn't work. So
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm. We believe you. Anyway.
know.
Yeah. So how was your weekend?
uh it's I don't know. My it's been a fairly slow week as far as like stuff. I've been doing PT, which isn't
Mm.
really doing much as far as my foot. So I'm going in for an MRI when we get back from California, and I am like at this point I am fully prepared to just be like to just end up with surgery, because I think that like they have to do all this shit beforehand, before they're like, okay, I guess we can
Mm-hmm.
approve the surgery because none of this other shit worked. So I'm just like, whatever. We've been working on the yard a lot. We've trimmed a lot of trees because we're getting bulk trash picked up today. So we had like a big pile of stuff that, we've been out. We're working on setting up new fencing for the pigs. So we're gonna kind of keep them enclosed unless we're out there with them. Um, so they stop wreaking
How does
havoc.
that
They
work for the
might
smart
for
ones?
once we get the fencing up properly, it should be fine. But Rerun has decided that he holds a grudge against my Weber grill. So anytime they're out and about, I will put my Weber grill. I'll just set it up. I will set it even in like around like a surround it with a bunch of stuff. I will go out there and then shit's knocked down. Like he has decided that this Weber grill is offensive. So he tries to beat the shit out of my Weber grill. I just like whatever. So so we've decided that it's gonna be a
Maybe
great, like
he's
it's a
mad
big
because
space.
you cook meat on it.
Eh. He always tries to like get in there when I'm cooking it. So it's like, no, you can't have this. You cannot eat this. But it's gonna be like it's a big space. It's
Mm.
gonna run like from where they are now, but it's gonna run all the way down the side of the wall. Like it's gonna be a nice big space. And then when we're out there and keep an eye on them, then they'll be able to come out and mingle and hang out and stuff. Um so I do have two kind of exciting things that have happened recently. Um, so the first one, if I've mentioned kind of, I know I've talked about it more in depth on the Patreon, but I know I've mentioned it on the show itself a couple times. Um, that I've been working on trying to get my Canadian citizenship, and I known that I was eligible because my mother was Canadian. She was born. Her parents are Canadian. They were born in Canada. Like I very Canadian, right? So it's been some back and forth and blah 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 blah. But uh, last
Mm.
week, I think it was Thursday, I got my official certificate of Canadian citizenship. So I officially hold dual citizenship for the US and Canada, which is kind of cool. I'm actually like, I am officially a Canadian. Like, I can tell people I am a
Woo!
Canadian. Um, and this is silly, but so you know when you get like a
How
certificate for
scary.
something, you get a certificate for something, right? And it's like the date
Hmm.
of when it what's the why is my brain so foggy? It's the date that it starts, the date that like
The
why is my
effective date?
thank you. I don't brain fog is real these days. Yes. So the effective date, right?
You're
Normally is
ready to
like,
be on
the
vacation.
like the day that they received it or whatever it is, right? The day that they processed it or whatever. So I know it makes sense, but I think that it's actually really cute that the effective date on my citizenship paperwork is backdated 47 years to my birthday.
What?
Yeah. So
Oh,
basically, what
that's
it's
why. Okay, that makes sense.
right. It
That
makes
makes
sense,
sense.
but I was like, I noticed the detail because I was filling out the application for a Canadian passport, and they're like, "What's the effective date of your citizenship?" And I was like, "Oh, like it was just I'm just like,
Since
oh, like this is
birth.
like since birth. Like they
So if
backdate
your
it.
mom
Like
had so if your mom had given or done the paperwork, you could have gotten dual citizenship a long time ago.
so if my actually if
Possibly.
my mom had not become a naturalized US citizen after she married my dad, I would have
Uh-huh.
automatically been a Canadian citizen. But because she basically gave up her citizenship to become a naturalized citizen of the United States, it basically made like it kind of canceled out her Canadian citizenship. But interesting,
Uh,
if my mom had actually hung out in Indonesia while she was still pregnant, instead of flying back to the States when she was like 8.5 months pregnant, I had been given birth, if I'd been birthed in Indonesia, I would have been a naturalized citizen of Indonesia and would have been able to have an Indonesian passport, which would have been really cool. But no, of course not. They're gonna fly back to the fucking stupid. So that was exciting. So I'm in the process of
your mom flew while she was pregnant.
it was the 70s. They didn't really give a fuck. It was, um, this is when smoking was still allowed in planes. You know what I mean? Like they really didn't care.
That's awesome.
Uh, right.
Oh
And that's
God.
when like you the smoking and non-smoking section was like right next to each other. So um stupid.
Uh,
So that was exciting. So
we're all gonna get lung cancer.
now I'm in the process of putting together all the stuff that I need for my Canadian passport, which I'm kind of excited to get because with all the shit going on with the US passport, when I go to renew my passport after the summer, if they fuck it up and they send it back with the wrong gender, I will have my Canadian passport as a backup. So that's really cool. Um, um, so and so kind of tying into that, I will actually be in Canada this summer. So I'll be able to mail everything that I need for my Canadian passport from Canada, which will make things much cheaper. And the reason that I'm going to be in Canada this summer is I can finally announce that I am going to be performing at Thrustfest, which is an all king uh, drag festival. Thank you. And if you remember when we had Riley Poppyseed on with us as a guest, he talked about it. He's one of the producers, so I am super excited. I'm going to be flying to Toronto in July, the weekend after my birthday, and I am now having a complete psychological meltdown, trying to figure out what the fuck it is I'm going to perform,
Yes.
but that's fine. So there's my super exciting news for the
It's been
last like little
intense.
while. But if you're on our Patreon, you would have heard it there first. Just saying.
But since you don't subscribe, you get to know last.
How was your
Just kidding.
weekend? What have you been up
Um,
to?
uh, what have I been doing? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that we were both doing yard work, but I did it out of. I got tired of looking at the backyard, and we're starting to have like this problem with flies.
Oh,
And I was wondering where the flies were coming from.
they're everywhere right
And
now.
so,
Everywhere. We had to put fly bags up all over the place because even with a clean yard, they're everywhere.
well, I discovered that the orange tree is not a good fruit, but anyhow, but it's dropping its bad fruit in the
Mm.
yard, and then it just kind of sits and
Mm.
gets the nasties, and
Yeah.
so gross. Um, so I have to figure out how. So I just one day was like, I got this like little chainsaw um, that you can get them on Amazon, and I'll send you the link if you want it.
We have one. It's really cool. Like
And
it's extendable too, and it's like
it
it's like
does wonders.
it's
I thought,
great.
oh, this little, yeah. And so it does amazing, except for it got caught in this very orange
Yeah.
tree that maybe I should hire somebody the next time I decide to be so brave, because it was top heavy.
Oh.
And so as it's like falling, I'm like, I don't think that's falling in the direction I want it to.
Huh.
It's it's falling into the neighbor behind us. It's falling into the neighbor on the side.
Oops.
Um, and then, so that was Saturday, and I left it because it was just sitting on
The wall,
the,
like on
like,
the wall.
yeah, just sitting there. And then so Sunday morning, one of the neighbors comes by, and it's the neighbor behind us. He's like, I don't know if you guys know. And I'm like, yeah, I, I do know. I'm the one trimming it. And did I trim it too far? I think so, because I didn't leave any branches with fruit on them,
Uh,
um, which I heard is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to leave like one branch that is like the
right.
surviving member or
Right.
something.
Oops.
So if it dies, then I'll just take the fault for that and chop it lower. But anyhow, sorry, landlord. Um, oops. Um, but then, um, so on Sunday, I started chopping it with this little thing, but it was getting a little too thick. And so then my neighbor comes out and is like, do you want to, like, like a saw? And I'm like, yeah, just like a that can cut through. And so as I finish cutting it, oh yeah, the thumbs. Uh-huh. Um, as I finish cutting it, it falls into the neighbor's yard
Of course.
who has a pool.
Whoops. How the hell does anybody in that neighborhood have a pool?
Luckily,
I've
his
seen the
family was
size of your
there.
backyard. Like, how does anybody have a pool? Like,
Well, I'm the only one that doesn't. So if you take out like, so I feel like we got gypped.
we don't say
I feel
gypped.
like there's more house where their pool, uh,
Hmm.
whatever the word may be. We have more house. They have more pool.
Hmm.
Where their house sits up on the land a little closer to the street, I think.
Interesting. Because I'm like, if
And
your
there
neighbor's yards are anything like yours, it's like they have a pool smaller than ours. Like, I'm like,
also, I think that they don't have like, from what I can see, since I was on the ladder, it looked like they don't have pools like there's not like Olympic size
right.
pools.
It's
It's
like a
just,
little little
yeah, you do like a little tiny lap in there.
yeah.
You don't get crazy.
Yeah.
You don't have pool parties.
You can fit like one person in there. All right, whose turn is it to get the pool today?
So that was my weekend. I just slightly regret it because now I have to figure out how to get it all to the street. Also, since my backyard is so tiny, it's full of tree branches all over the place.
Oops.
Um, there I go, being ambitious and not thinking the plan all the way through.
Yeah, we
Um,
had to we had to haul all the like branches from the lemon tree because we trimmed that like down, and we had to like all the green on our driveway, like the bushes that are
mhm,
right there, like that all got trimmed down. So we're like moving that. I had to get these stupid. We finally decided that we have two dead plants in the front yard that we were like, you know what, we're getting rid of this shit. We are going to dig this fucker up. Oh my god, one of them was an absolute beast. This stupid thing had a crazy root system, and it was all like entwined in like the thing that you put down to minimize the weeds, you know, like the thing like it was like we had to soak it with
mhm.
water, like we're sitting there soaking it. I had to get in there. I broke the shovel trying to dig this fucker out. Like it was insane. Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. So yeah, we finally got that up though. I busted that thing out and I held it up like it was the fucking Gorgon's head. I was like, ah, like man.
Yeah. So I am not excited about the cleanup part, but if anybody is interested in cleaning up my yard for a decent price, but somebody said that I should call the city and get additional bulk pickup because
Mm,
the amount that I cut is way bigger than the amount of space that I'm supposed to take up on the street.
yeah, probably a good idea. Because now, like, I don't know with you guys, but for us, we have to like call in. Like, we don't have standard like they used to have like bulk pickup is on this day or whatever. We don't. They don't do that anymore up here. So now we have to call and
Oh, we have a
schedule.
bulk pickup day.
Yeah, we have to call and schedule bulk pickup. It's dumb, but it's fine. We got all of our shit situated.
Oh,
My thing is like, like
well, I could try.
we're putting up all the fencing and stuff, and my whole thing is, you know, what happened to like a good old fashioned like barn raising, where like your community would come out and help you build shit or whatever. I'm like, why don't we have a community coming out and helping us put these fucking fences in? Because
I cannot complain because I also, when I was trying to lift the branches from over the wall, one of my neighbors came out and helped me. So my neighbors helped me with a chainsaw. They helped me get some of the tree back into my yard, which if they would have just left it in theirs and wanted to throw it out, that would have been even better. I'm just kidding. Um, and at one point, the neighbor's dad came out and like trimmed the tree piece that fell
mm,
into their yard and threw it back over so that I wouldn't have to like go and I felt like really weird like trying to go chop something up in their yard.
well, that was nice of
Anyway,
them.
I was like, oh, do you want to come clean us up, please? But yeah, so it's glad that I don't have to look at it anymore, but I'm so sorry that I probably killed the
It's
tree.
like, oops. Oh, hey, Brandon. Thank
But
you.
I don't think our landlord watches our podcast, so that's fine. That's fine. Oh, I didn't put the chat on the
Um,
wall, whatever.
on the thing. That's all right. All right. Should we do the thing?
We do the
Let's
thing.
do the
See if it
thing. All
works.
right. Okie dokie. So, like I said earlier, like today I just wanted to do something a little bit lighter, but still like informational when it comes to our, the tip tonight. And something we haven't talked about in a hot minute. So we're gonna talk about the history of flagging and the hanky code, which we've talked about
Mm.
before. I think we've talked more about the hanky code than we have about the history of flagging. So, but we have talked about the history of flagging in sex
Oh,
trivia. So,
mm-hmm.
so I figured, we'll combine the two and we'll talk a little bit
Listen up.
about stuff. And because I mean, I want to talk a little bit about flagging in general, in what kind of means for, in queer communities. So in basic terms, flagging is basically a way to communicate identities, desires, sexual preferences, whatever, through visual cues, coded language, and shared symbols. And while it's most often associated with the queer community, other communities flag, though they may not even call it that or even realize that's what they're doing. So if you think about it,
Oh,
um,
really?
oh, for sure. Even the
Hmm.
most, so first thing that most people are probably going to think of is if you think about different gangs, whether you're in prison or out of prison, there's tattoos that will indicate your
Mm.
affiliation, right? Different colors, right?
Mm.
Motorcycle clubs will wear vests and
Or
jackets with different
symbols.
patches and things on it, which mean different things depending on what you're doing. um Even in a broader sense, even military like medals and things like that are kind of a sense of flagging, because they let you know what this person has done, what their military history, what their military career, whatever you know has been like. So
Mm.
flagging
Mm.
is everywhere, and all it really is a way to let other people who maybe have similar interests, or um may have the same sort of identity as you do, that hey, I'm one of
Ooh,
you. Yes.
I have, and this may not be considered down to the definition as flagging. I watched a remarkable video, like 4 minute video, about how the Stanley Cup, not the cup that is for hockey, but the Stanley
Right,
Cup,
yeah, the drinking, yes.
has become a like a social symbol or a signal,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
and that could be considered
That's kind of a form of flagging. It's like, "Oh, I see
because
you. You
I'm.
spent, a ridiculous amount of money on your stupid water bottle. You must
You're
be,
welcome.
you know, you must be high class." You know. Mhm. But yes, no,
No, I'm
that's
not.
totally like a form of flagging. So, flagging in the queer community sort of became a thing way back, way back, when being gay was illegal and folks needed a discreet way to communicate what they wanted, because saying it out loud wasn't always safe or possible or even welcome.
Mhm.
So how else are you
Mhm.
going to try and find your people? And sort of just an aside right here, we always hear why do we need labels? We're all just human, right? Labels help you find community. So
Mm.
when we're talking about
I've not heard
labels and
that before.
identities, it, if you don't, and it can be any label, but labels help you find community. And if you're not in a place where you're able to wear a shirt that says, "Hey, I'm queer and proud," how are you going to let other people know that you're queer, you're safe, whatever? Like, so you have to be able to find ways to do that. The
Hmm.
idea of the hanky code is usually associated with gay men in the 70s and 80s, but flagging has been a thing for a lot longer than that. And flagging isn't just like necessarily like an accessory or a piece of clothing or whatever. It's language. It's all different things that it's like little secret things that only you and the other person would know. You know what I mean? Like it's a kind of a secret
Mm.
relationship. Um, the gay men in the UK came up with their own secret language called Polari. It was a mashup of English, Italian, Romani, backslang, and theatrical slang. And there are words that
Mm.
we use regularly today that are kind of credited with coming from that Polari language. Camp is one of them. Butch is another one.
Mm.
cottaging, which is basically British slang for, this is actually part of sex trivia. It is British slang for like cruising sex in like public places. And zhuzh, you know, when you say, oh, I'm going to zhuzh
Meet you
this,
at meet you at the crutch.
like you're like, oh, this thing here needs a little bit of zhuzhing, you know, to kind of like make it fancier, to kind of elevate it, to, you know, I'm gonna zhuzh this, let me just zhuzh your hair real quick, let me just, you know what I mean. That comes
Oh,
from Polari. um they would often refer to people, places, or things as she, and they called it sheing. um
oh,
so
I
you
be
wouldn't,
shinging all over the place.
it was so, you, if you were talking about whatever, it was, oh well, you know, that she this, she that. So if you're a gay man, nobody's going to think twice if you're talking about a woman, right? So you're referring to things
Oh.
as she. And queer coded language is seen all over the world. Like different international communities have their own sort of version of this. In the Philippines, it's called sword speak, and it's like Tagalog, English,
Mm,
um, uh, you know, current terms, current things. Um, I may butcher this, and I apologize. In South Africa,
absolutely.
there's uh, two sort of queer
I
coded
don't even know.
languages. One called Gael, one called Isni Cuomo, and I'm sorry if I fucked that up. And then in Indonesia, Bahasa Binan is another one. So in all of these different parts of the world,
Hmm.
different communities had to be able to come up with languages and words and things that if sound like sort of normal conversation, but if you know what to listen for, you'll pick up on the little clues that people are throwing down, and you can be like, okay, these are my people. Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
in Victorian England, and okay, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not going into like a super deep dive into like the history of all of this. There's so much more. I'm touching on some of the key like elements that have led into certain things for today. I'm not, there is so, oh my god, there's so much. There's so much. It would take up an entire show if I wanted to go into the whole thing. Um in Victorian
Oh.
England,
Oh.
Oscar Wilde encouraged folks that were come to his plays that were in the know to wear green carnations in their lapels. So if you went to go see an
Hmm.
Oscar Wilde play and you saw a gentleman or even potentially a woman in masculine clothing wearing a green carnation in their lapel, then you would know, oh, okay, got it, got it. Even further back than that, the ancient Greek poet Sappho wrote about women adorned with flowers, violets woven into crowns, establishing like purple flowers as symbols of intimacy long before modern queer language existed. And over the years, lavender and purple kept resurfacing as recurring themes in literature and culture. Some examples are the character Violet Venable in Suddenly Last Summer by Tennessee Williams, the color purple, yeah,
Hmm.
the character Violet in Bound, like there's, you know, and then of course we have
Hmm.
what end up being like the Lavender Menace and all this stuff, but lavender and purple
Oh, is that why they
ended
say
up,
like lavender weddings?
yes. So a lavender wedding, for people that don't know, a lavender
Yeah.
wedding are when a gay man and a lesbian get married in what looks like a heterosexual marriage, but they're not because they're both gay. It's called a lavender wedding, lavender marriage.
Because
Um,
we know what's going on there.
and when it comes to sort of the modern, what we think of as flagging these days, um, it tends to sort of be seen as mostly gay men who are into kink and leather, but they're not the only people that flag. Lesbian flagging has existed for decades, even before the hanky code became a thing. Back in the 1920s, a monocle became like the accessory for lesbians. So if
Really?
you were out and you could wear a monocle, and that would sort of be like a clue for other women who enjoyed women, you know. Um,
Sheesh.
in the 1940s, it was believed that a gold pinky ring on the left hand was another way to kind of indicate that, you know, you like the women. During the Harlem Renaissance, which we've talked about before when talking about Black queer history, Black
Mhm.
lesbian dandies were able to dress in men's clothing, often tuxedos, finely tailored suits. Um, if you think of like Gladys Bentley before the McCarthy era, and she basically renounced lesbianism and married a man and went all weird. But that was a thing as well. Like you were able to, if you're able to wear like men's clothing, tailored suits, things like that. During World War II, it became common for working class lesbians because if you remember during World War II, all the men were off fighting, right? So they
Mhm.
brought the women, the working class women, into the factories, right? So working class lesbians would wear keys on their pants. So instead of like having their keys in their pocket or in their purse or in a bag, they would hook their keys to their pants, which would indicate to other lesbians,
Mm.
I'm a lady. Lesbians were also known to tattoo the nautical star on their wrist because it could be hidden under a watch if needed. But if you're not wearing a
Huh.
watch, you know what to look for. You saw the nautical star. It was like, all right.
Go for it.
But again, the hanky code is probably the most well-known concept of queer flagging. Um, it as of it's commonly thought, it's recognized today that it's believed to go back to about the 1972 book The Leatherman's Handbook by Larry Townsend, but there's some debate on that. um, but
No.
this
Why?
book helped sort of circulate the language of coded cues based on the color of the hanky you wore and where you wore it. However, there is some speculation that using like hankies or bandanas to indicate tops, bottoms, whatever, may actually date back to the gold rush era in San Francisco. Because in these mining
What?
towns and in these sort of remote like little areas and stuff, women were often really scarce. So prospectors would often dance with each other and would use hankies to indicate whether they were leads or follows. So
Huh.
that that
They were
may or may
digging more
not
than just
it,
mines.
like I said, there's some speculation on that. It's hard to find sort of concrete proof on that,
Hmm.
but there's like
Hmm.
there is evidence that men would dance with men, and you'd have to somehow indicate whether you were a lead or a follow.
I
But
think they were doing more than just
like,
dancing.
oh, I mean, there's that. Um, with the hanky code, different cities adapted variations. So, like the West Coast was slightly different than the East Coast. Colors may not always
Hell yeah.
match another city's code. And if I remember correctly, on the West Coast, for a while, it's a little more generalized now. So I think most of it is common across the states, right? But I think
Mhm.
for a while there on the West Coast, flagging on the left indicated a top, flag on the right indicated a bottom, where it was the opposite, I believe, on the East Coast, where flagging on the right indicated a top, flagging on the left indicated a bottom. Um, but in especially in bigger cities, printed guides would often be available in queer bookstores and bars, sex shops, things like that. So you'd be able to go if you were visiting and you were familiar with the hanky code. You could go and actually pick up a little like printed guide that would tell you, you know, okay, here, this is what we're looking at. These are the, you know, the colors and where you flag them, blah, 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 blah. So you wouldn't be going in blind, and it wouldn't be like so you'd have some help. Um, Lesbians didn't really start using the hanky code until the late 70s, and the colors didn't always mean the same thing as they did in sort of male centric circles. In 1984, the magazine
Mm.
On Our Backs was published an adapted guide for lesbians, and the some of the colors included
I
things
love the
like
name of
right?
the magazine.
Colors indicated things for like, is menstruating, because that's kind of a handy thing to have to know, right? If you're trying to hook up with somebody and maybe they're on the rag and they're like, no, thank you. And like breast fondler, which would be things that are more geared towards women as opposed to gay men. And then, of course, to help out their lesbians, the magazine also sold the hankies in all 18 colors. You could order them by mail order. So yeah. Now,
Well, now you can get like a whole pack of them for like 20
right, and
bucks
go to the
on
dollar store and
Amazon.
get a whole shit ton. Um,
All different colors.
Now, some of the more common colors as recognized today, because there's all sorts of things. There's like lace and patterns and all sorts of, like, it gets complicated, and I cannot memorize all of them. Like, there's no way. There's
What is lace? Oh, I want to
it
know.
depends on the lace. There's like there's yeah,
What?
I cannot keep track of it. It's too much for me. So, but some of the more commonly known, commonly recognized flagging colors are black, which is heavy BDSM, gray, which is like light bondage, light blue, which is for giving head, navy blue, which
Mm.
is penetrative sex. So if you're flagging navy blue on the left, then you're the you're the top. You know what I mean? Like, if you're
Mm.
navy blue on the right, then you're a bottom when it comes to penetrative sex. Red is fisting. Orange is anything goes. Uh, so
Whoa.
if you're flagging orange, be
Anything?
mindful, because orange is anything goes, and sometimes you think it's anything, but it's not anything. Like, so just, if you're flagging orange, just be mindful of that. Um,
Oh.
Yellow is water sports. Green is like daddies and
Mm.
boys. Light pink is dildos. Houndstooth is pup play. Brown is scat. White is jacking off. And teal, which is pretty close to turquoise, Brandon, but teal is CBT, or cock and ball torture.
That sounds like something they would be into. Sounds right.
Um, but just as a reminder with folks, if you are in a space where, whether you're at a kink event, or whether you're at a leather event and people are flagging is not
Mhm.
indicative of consent. So just because
Oh,
somebody is
absolutely.
flagging something doesn't mean that you have blanket consent to do XYZ because
Wait,
they are
is that a
flagging that
thing that
color.
people assume?
People assume a lot of
Assume?
things. People assume a lot of things.
What the
So,
hell?
but even like now, with the invention of, we have the internet, we have dating apps, flagging still happens in both subtle and not so subtle ways. In leather bars, you can still see the hanky code in full effect, but even in like vanilla spaces, flagging happens in subtle ways to indicate your safe space, to indicate solidarity, etc. Strategically placed, like rainbows, pins, flags, etc. And I actually think that flagging queer right now in any way, whether it's, wearing clothes that have a rainbow, or putting, rainbows up in your office, or something that's even a subtle, like a nudge nudge wink wink kind of thing. I actually think that's really important right now. Like, you wouldn't think about it because it's 2026, and why do we need to be, we're not, it's not illegal yet, but with
I will
all the sort
bring
of
something up during Patreon
mm,
because, yeah, because.
yeah, So subscribe to the Patreon. But with all the like the anti LGBTQ plus and anti trans sentiments out there, with all the anti trans legislation, I think that it's important for people to see that they're not alone. And like even like we're going to Disneyland next week, and I have we both have um Disney pins that are totally queer coded. Like I have a we both have like the Millennium Falcon that is rainbow. I have the Mickey ears pin that is of the trans flag. One of the Disney bounds that we're doing isn't like the backpacks, the Loungefly backpacks aren't technically queer, but they're totally queer. Because like I have the macaron Disney Eats backpack, and it's totally pink, white, and blue. And my partner has the shaved ice, and it's pink, yellow, and blue, which are the pan flag colors. So it's like we're totally like we're leaning into the queerness. Um, so you know that when you think about it, like how do you flag? Like there's all sorts of different things that we do, sometimes even subconsciously, uh, to kind of let people know that we are safe and we are, we're queer and we are part of the community. And because some of us pass, in very large quotation marks, some of us pass as straight, as
I do.
cis, as whatever.
Like,
So it's harder to just sort of clock somebody as belonging to a certain community. So I think that I think a lot of people are sort of flagging their identities now in public to just kind of let other people know that you're not alone in this
I
shitstorm.
feel that I feel like right now the younger generation is not all, but I feel like most are just free to fly. From what I can see, they they come out sooner. They come out swinging basically,
No, I mean,
and they're
compared
like,
to when like
"Look."
you and I were, younger and like in high
Mhm.
school and stuff, like for sure, for sure, for sure.
But I still think it's definitely um, a safe space, especially when folks find out that somebody of the community is near or in their space. That it just makes things better, even if you are confident and living in your truth already. But it definitely helps folks be like, I can trust you.
Right.
At least from first sight, I can. Um, um, but I don't know. Yeah, I haven't thought of. I definitely thought of this. There are like this definitely is queer. Look, it's so sparkly,
It's
and I
spark.
am,
Yeah, between that and your nails, like that's
and my nails. Yeah, I just walk around just being queer as hell. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh damn! I bet symbols stamp. Let's go to something less graceful. The news.
yeah.
Okay, so fair warning. I keep testing. That's why I keep leaning over. Is I keep testing the internet. It keeps going between fair and hard to read or something. It said. So if I disappear at any point, um, it's a bomb ass day to lose the internet. Anyway, so instantly, I know that we talked about last week that we are not against AI, but instantly, this is where the joke of the night became the president who cried assassination. And I saw so many AI renderings of like the boy who cried wolf.
Right.
I could not stop laughing. Um,
Uh,
for those that say I don't have compassion, I do have compassion, and I never wish ill will on anyone. But for those that
there's a.
don't know,
I'm gonna be straight
another
up. There's a
bullshit
couple of people
assassination.
completely. There's a couple of people that I totally wish ill will on, and that's fine because they deserve it. I'm just gonna throw that in.
Um, another assassination attempt happened, but this time,
Assassination attempt.
yeah,
Assassination.
yeah, this one didn't play out as theatric as I would like. They didn't rehearse. Again, I could
It,
tell.
it,
I totally could
my
tell.
favorite
They didn't
was
rehearse
was
this
Twitler
one.
falling down as they like was trying to get him out, and then he was like, "No, no, no, I didn't fall. They told me to get close to the ground." Okay, okay,
Yeah, about that.
that's great.
No.
I
So this attempt turned. Um, I need to spend 400 billion on a ballroom with a top secret bunker. Remember this? Remember this? Was
my
it
my
good?
my other favorite thing is that he keeps talking about the top secret bunker. Stop talking. If it's top secret, stop talking about it, you dumb fuck. Yeah, we're building this like super top secret bunker. No, no, no. You understand that as soon as you talk
Does
about it,
anybody
it's
think
not
that it was?
secret.
I wouldn't even know about it if you just stopped talking about it.
So fucking stupid. So fucking stupid.
Yeah. Um, and even though hundreds of kids have been killed by gun violence, with no protections put in place to minimize that, um, maybe we should build ballrooms at every school, since that's obviously what deters shooters.
I think
Seem
that's
to work
fair.
for.
I mean, I my I, there was
Mm,
if you watch like there are no words. The idiocy that goes into this shit. Like it wasn't even like good acting because it was an immediate like it was an immediate oh we're gonna do a
no,
press
and they
conference
grabbed
like 30 seconds
JD
afterwards and
Vance,
then who
and
ditched
I'm
his
like,
wife
no, no.
like they all just
Mm-mm.
like ditched their wives it was like and so again with politics, I don't know if you saw that King Charles was visiting recently. Yes, you saw that. That was he was here this week. Um, he spoke in front of Congress, and I fucking love this because when he spoke in front of Congress, mind you, he is a king, right? King Charles is he's a king, right? So he denounced kings. He was like, there really shouldn't be any kings, which is kind of hypocritical, but it's fine. Um, and he said there has to be checks and balances. He, right. He praised NATO and talked about how NATO, came to, fight in Afghanistan and la 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 la. All of these things basically with a big fuck you to Twitler in Congress. Uh, and like the Democrats were all like they stood up, and then you see the Republicans kind of going
They were with it.
like he cited the Magna Carta, like there you can't have like complete power. There's no such thing. That's why the checks and balances are in place. Like it was, and I, my some of the videos from this visit, I'm like, I don't. Like there was when he first arrives at like the White House, and all the White House staff line up to greet um Charles and Camilla, right? And Camilla goes and starts shaking hands. Charles starts shaking hands, and then fucking Twitler like cuts in front of them and then shakes everybody's hands. And you see Charles just kind of step back and be like, and
Does he
then
not know
Twitler
who the
moves
fuck I
around
am?
and like shuffles him off. And I'm like, why are you shaking hands with your staff? They don't give a fuck about you. They're trying to shake hands with so fucking stupid.
Because he wants to be a king.
It's so
And every
like,
time I say that, I think of the Simba song that says, "I'm going to be a king. I just want to
right.
be king."
I can't wait to be king. Good for you.
So,
Oh my god, Gabe. And then so Gabe is I just want to go home. That would be Erica
what
Kirk.
was that?
Erica Kirk walking
Oh,
by, no tears, just like, oh my god, I just want to go home. It's like, oh, you're gonna go on your next "I Need Money" tour, aren't you?
she probably
Like that's
is.
the thing, right?
I was a
Because
victim.
grifter is gonna grift,
I was a
and then
victim.
this dude who literally was just like,
Uh huh.
yeah, it was crazy. Just sat
Yeah,
there,
saw the whole thing.
and the
I
fact
feel
that
like that would be
apparently,
me.
right,
I would
this,
just be
I mean,
like,
like whatever,
"What?"
and the fact that this guy managed to get through like multiple layers of security with like all of these weapons and things, it's like,
So even
okay,
when you're at the White House, they have like security like basically lined up at the fence.
right,
So it's not, you can't like just hop over the fence. So he couldn't have just,
all of this shit
somebody
is
had
fucking staged. All of this
to
shit is
let him.
staged. All of it. And it's all because Twitler wants his fucking ballroom. Like, there, all of it. It's all bullshit. All of it.
That's crazy.
And people are buying into it. And then the Republicans have been posting, like, what Democrats have ever been, like, a shot at or assassinated or whatever. And it's like, Obama had multiple assassination attempts. Hillary Clinton had multiple assassination attempts. And did you forget about the Democratic senator that was literally murdered in her house?
Mhm.
We're going to ignore this? Okay.
No,
So
because
yes, you're right. Republicans are the only ones that ever attempt to get killed because
damsel in distress.
I am
Damsel in
this
distress.
I can I'm like,
Damsel in
y'all,
distress.
what drives me nuts is these people believe the shit that comes out of their mouth. And
Absolutely.
like, I'm like,
And you
what?
know people. That's the crazy part, is you know people that actually do.
Right. And that's the
Legitimate.
other thing. I'm like, and there's like literally like not in the like, oh, those people. It's like, no, those people who are buying into this. And like every time somebody says something about it, I'm just like,
Or they like stand by him and they have some ridiculous excuse on, no, he didn't do this, that, and the other. Girl, are
do
we
you
watching
ever
the same
watch
thing?
do you ever watch the videos on like they show up on like different reels and stuff? The guys are called the Good Liars. There's like a taller, skinnier guy and a shorter, a little heavier set
Mm-mm.
guy, and they go to like Trump rallies and they interview
But now
people.
that you said it, the algorithm will
Now
send
that
it
I
to me.
said that, they're going to be all over the place. But they're hysterical
Yeah.
because they go to Trump rallies and they interview people and they do it completely like straight face, like they're interviewing. They're like, well,
Oh, I
what
might
about
have seen these. And they ask
there?
like
It's
trivia questions.
and not even necessarily trivia questions. They're just like, okay, you don't think that that gun control is a good thing? And someone's like, no, it's not the guns, it's the people that shoot the guns. Okay, so then to minimize the people that the idiots that get their hands on guns and gun control Is it, well, do you know how to drive? Yes, I know how to drive. Well, it's not like you need a license to drive a car. Actually, you do. The things that these people say, you're like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, you're a dumbass. Like they'll say something like, they'll quote Twitler, but say it's
Mhm.
Biden or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's terrible. Oh, my mistake. Actually, that wasn't Biden. That was him." And they're like, oh, it's and it goes to prove over and fucking over
Ooh,
again that these people don't care about facts.
that
They don't
nobody's
care, like,
checking.
right. They'll throw, well, the Bible says that this is wrong. Okay, well, the Bible also says that this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong, and yet you still
If we
eat
were all living by the Bible,
shellfish
we would be in
and
some kind of.
pork and all of these things, and they never have an answer. So if you're go find it, like, I'm sure now that I've said it, like I said, they're gonna pop up all over your social media. Sorry guys. But look for the Good Liars, because they do it all like completely
The
deadpan, and they're
Good
like,
Liars.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay,
To that one,
so
we're
right.
doing this right
It's like I
now.
uh,
Something else that happened today, and you and I were talking about it, but I never got to like read the full
oh,
article. Um, but something that's going to happen is so some of the states got uh, the the voters voted to redistrict some of their districts. Why this matters? Because
I think
as
it was
populations
Louisiana.
change,
Louisiana.
as
Louisiana
parties
was the
change, yes,
it happened. Yeah, Louisiana was the
yes.
actual Supreme Court ruling.
And so this happened in Louisiana, and a judge basically just said, like, no, you can change things. And I sent Freddie a text because um, President Obama, and yes, I still call him President Obama, um, was going off on like a thread. And I was like, well, okay, he never does this. So like what got him upset? And so he was talking about how people can do things to cause injustice to people of color mainly by changing the redistricting of where they vote. Like not basically the whole thing that we're like, this can't be true. There are people out there that are just like, oh, we're going to change the district so that, my friends can vote for this person. Let's just picture it as this. Um, and it
So
leads to very unjust things happening. Go ahead.
So what it says is that Wednesday's ruling significantly limits the use of race when drawing voting districts, weakening a civil rights era law that has boosted minority representation in Congress. So what that means is they can basically redraw the lines so that places that were like a black majority are now not going to be a black majority. Um, and the decision came in the midst of a special legislative session in Florida that Republican Governor DeSantis had called for congressional redistricting on the assumption that the Supreme Court would rule as it did.
Oh,
So Florida and Mississippi are trying to do the same thing now. Um, so
there was like three states that jumped on it as this decision was being made. The ink had not
right,
even dried,
right. And they're
and
calling
here we
it
are.
now. Um, where is it?
I can't stand it.
So,
So I guess we're all
voting
moving to
rights
Canada with you.
groups, right? Voting rights groups are calling these redistrictings the Alito map, because it was basically Judge Alito that was like, no, we're going to go ahead and do this. So it would discriminate with impunity, says the NAACP. The court's 6-3 majority opinion was written by Justice Samuel Alito, so that's why they're calling it the Alito map. It's one that blatantly dilutes the voting power of Black voters and other disenfranchised communities on account of race in order to maximize partisan advantage with a SCOTUS stamp of approval. So,
And the thing
yeah.
that I've heard the stupidity of some people say, it doesn't determine your what is it, your circumstance or whatever. Uh, if that's the case, then why are you worried?
Right.
Why not just
Uh,
leave it?
well, I also
You're
read an interesting article the other day about how I think currently right now I believe there are 5 Black Republican congressmen, I think, or senators, something like that. Um, and all 5 are going away
mm,
and are probably going to be replaced with white people. The problem with that is for the Republicans, because they could have all these like racist things and be like, wait, look, we have a black person though. We're not racist. Look, we have a black
oh,
representative.
there's nobody here to
Look at
vote it out.
we have right. But they can't do that now once these 5 representatives go away. Now there will not be any black Republican representation, which is going to make things a little bit tricky when it comes to the racist bullshit that the Republicans are throwing around out there these days. Because they could be like, it was the equivalent of, I'm not racist, I have a black friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, we're
But
not
the
racist. Look,
friend
there's
is
a
not
black
the
Republican
you can't
senator.
hang out with a friend. You don't hang out with a friend.
So they're going to lose that little bit of sort of leverage that they had, where they could be like, look, we're not racist. We have black people Republicans. We're progressive. Yay.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, this is, yeah. Again, like, this is just all a fucking mess. And one of the reasons why I'm really glad, you know what, I'm just going to skip the whole American thing. I'm just going to keep telling people I'm Canadian, because fuck this country right now. If it gets better, I'll reconsider. But right now, fuck it. I'm just going to be Canadian. I don't even, I can't, fuck it. So, it's such a fucking mess. I
Yeah.
hate it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Also,
What gigs do we have?
I want to say if there's some good news out there, I am looking for good news. I think I saw like, I don't know how to say this, but I think it was Botswana. Botswana? That sounds right.
Botswana, yeah.
Um, got rid of laws that ban same sex. Was it relationships, or it was something that was against queer people that we go, oh wow, they're just trying to keep us down. And somebody said, well, maybe we shouldn't have that.
Right.
Just maybe.
Right.
Let's see, what do we have coming up? Oh wow,
So
you built the staff.
tomorrow I am hosting Queer Visitors, the LGBTQ plus book club for adults at 7 p.m. Eastern. That would be 4 o'clock Arizona time. If you want to reserve your spot, even if you haven't read the book, I think you're still fine to come. You can still like listen to the conversation, whatever. But if you go to the Queer Visitors link tree, put the link up, you can go check that out. The book is ASL by Jean Thornton, and the author is actually going to be a part of the discussion. So that's actually kind of
Oh,
cool.
fun.
Yeah. And then this weekend is Southwest Love Fest, and I will be doing my thing on
You're not
Saturday. I
putting
have
up any of the
two.
visuals.
No, there we go. I have 2 panels, or I have a presentation and a panel that I'm doing. Both of them are on Saturday. One of them is very fucking early Saturday morning, but there's a lot of content that everybody has to fit in, so
Oh,
it is what it is. So I think my first workshop is at like 8:30 Saturday morning, and then noon, I believe. But the one at 8:30 is
Hmm.
Better in Bed, Respecting Trans Bodies. So that's always a good one. You can go to lovefestevents.com to get your tickets for the weekend. And there's a lot of events and different things going on.
There was a lot on the
It's
schedule. I looked at it.
There's a lot of stuff. There's all sorts of workshops, panels, discussions, activities. Like there's all sorts of stuff. So it's worth looking into. You can still get tickets, and it's a great way to kind of support. The different communities that are out there. Whether you are poly, whether you are kinky, whether you are queer, whether it doesn't matter. There's going to be something for everybody out there for sure.
Doesn't matter, darling. Doesn't matter.
And then, oh Lord, we are rolling into June. There's some stuff happening. So put things on your calendars, folks. So the weekend of Fan Fusion, which is June 6th and 7th.
Mhm.
How do we get rid of the thing? Where's the
Oh,
button?
sorry.
Oh,
Hold
okay. There we go. I can get rid of that.
You're right.
Fan Fusion is the weekend of June 6th and 7th, and Drag Story Hour Arizona will be there both days. I believe it's either noon or 1 p.m. We'll have to check the schedule. I don't remember which, but we are there Saturday and Sunday. It'll either be at noon or 1 both days. I have to check that.
Michelle will put it in the comments on YouTube if we get it.
Right, right. When she catches up. Um, but as usual, the Saturday will be like fairy tale themed, fantasy themed, and then Sunday will be like sci-fi. So bring your little
Cool.
ones, or if you just need a minute to just kind of sit, decompress, listen to a couple of stories, it's always a good excuse to do that. And then on the 14th of June, I will be at Brick Road Coffee doing the Pride edition of Drag Story Hour Arizona, which I'm very excited for. And then on the 20th of June, I will be hosting a Pride Trivia with Drag Story Hour Arizona at Brick Road Coffee at Mesa. So their Mesa location at 5 p.m.
Huh.
So I actually have some stuff coming up. Look at that. Whoopee.
I think I'm joining you for one of these.
Oh, okay. That's great.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Are you on the 7th?
No. The
Okay.
7th of June?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm at Fan Fusion.
Okay. So I will be there on Sunday.
Mhm. And then rolling into July, because eventually we're going to have to like end the season. So we're still going to make sure you put stuff on the calendar. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Don't forget about us just because we disappear.
Right.
But if you're on Patreon, um, most of
We
these
will have.
events have been announced already on
And we'll
Patreon.
remind you. But the 10th of July, we're back at Dragon Bingo and Cats, but it'll be my birthday because it'll be the week before my birthday. Bring me cake and presents and money because I'm going to Toronto the next week. I'm going to be old. I'll be very old.
Yeah, bring shovels.
And then
And
if
fresh dirt.
you feel like traveling, and I will get visuals and stuff for this too, but
I didn't see anything.
July
No see.
24th through the 26th is Thrust Fest happening in Toronto, Canada. 60 plus kings, 3 nights of crazy entertainment. I'm not stressing at all.
Not
Not
at
even a little
all.
bit. I'll be fine.
Mm.
So put that on your calendar. If you feel like making the trip up, I know I would love to see some familiar faces, but I get it. So yeah, that's what's happening in the next few months. We got a lot.
Oh, I have drag bingo at Drink Me Tea Room on May 14th.
Oh, I was like,
Part
didn't you just do
two.
this one? I
No,
was like, didn't you already do this
part
one?
two. It's a new
Okay.
design.
Oh,
Excuse you.
okay.
Excuse you.
Have they run out of themes? Are they just doing the same
No,
theme?
the
Oh.
Drink Me Tea Room is basically Alice in Wonderland themed, like Brick Road Coffee is Wizard of Oz / Wicked. themed. So it goes with the theme of the tea room. Get your tickets
Yes.
at drinkmetearoom.com. And we had such a good time. Oh, did I not talk about that? Damn.
Oh, apparently not. I thought
Damn.
it was 2 weeks ago.
Was that
No?
2 weeks ago? No, that was last week.
Oh, whoops.
That was last week. It was a good time. It was totally a good time. Full house. I'll have to tell you what I came up with instead of oh hell yeah, and people gladly took on the challenge. So uh, we'll talk about it on Patreon because I think it's hilarious, and I don't want everybody to know.
Fair.
You have to come to our events to experience this.
Hmm.
I'm so excited. It was hilarious. But until then, um, and one other thing took forever in a day, but sex trivia is coming back. We keep getting asked about when is sex trivia coming back. It's gonna come back at Gracie's September 3rd at 8 p.m. for signups, and then 8:30 to start. So make sure you get there at 8. Mark your
If
calendar.
anybody has any like recommendations on venues that might like a good sex trivia night, let us know. We will totally reach out.
Mhm. We like to spread. No, that's not the right word. Hmm.
Yeah, education.
We like to educate. There you go. That's all. But there's no show next week. Um, Freddy's gone.
Correct.
I'm gone. We're all
We will
gone.
be gone. We will be gone.
Neither of us will be in the state. That is all.
Nope. Nope. I'm gonna be Wednesday is Star Wars night, so we're not going to the park during the day, but we are going to Star Wars night that night. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see pictures. Let's see. Book
I'm
us
gonna
for.
try and remember to bring like my GoPro and stuff, and see if I can get some like good video. We'll see.
You know. Okay.
I make no promises. I
I
always
know.
say
That's
that, and then I
also.
always
Yeah.
fucking forget. I always fucking forget. I always say that. I'm gonna try and remember to get something. I don't know. We'll see. I have to. Well,
Uh-huh. I believe you. Mhm.
whatever.
I believe you completely. Um, and even during our off season, you can book us for office parties. Graduations coming up, so like book us for graduations. Families love us, especially the conservative ones. Don't put us in danger though. Um, so bar mitzvahs, those are happening over the summer. I saw some people trying to host a movie night. Um, I'm available. Freddie's available. I'd like to know what the movie is though before I.
Right. Let me give me a heads up.
It's like inviting me to read a book out loud, and then I don't know what the book is. Has happened before. Um,
Well, yes.
so
At least give me time to Google. If
yeah,
nothing
like let me look
else.
up the synopsis or something. I don't
Grab the Cliff's notes. I
know.
mean,
So with that, we will see you in 2 weeks. What is 2 weeks from now? What is that?
the 12th or
The
something.
13th.
Sure, I was close.
Sure. Uh-huh. So we'll see you on the 13th. Well, sure, we'll have plenty to talk about by then.
Absolutely. I fully expect that show will probably go longer because
Yeah,
even
because
we have
probably
plenty.
will.
They're always going longer. We just make the
Anyway,
show 90 minutes.
with that being said, be safe out there. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you later for your Wednesday night conversation. Good
Good
night.
night.